All right, everyone. Welcome to the first episode of the Real As It Gets podcast. I'm Chris Smith with HD Bros. I'm here with my friend and real estate business partner, Matt Cullather.
Yeah, glad to be here, Chris. Something that you and I have been talking about for some time. We're always talking business and business ideas and just the growth of the company and just business in general. So we thought we'd start with episode one. We're looking forward to having some other real estate agents with our company and outside of our company, business owners on the show here soon. So excited to get this thing going.
Yeah, we've been talking about it for a while. It's going to be a good little thing we're going to try to do for you. Keep it real, as we like to say. So most of you know Matt. He's been killing it for since I've known him in real estate, and I think that a good starting point for this is to dive in a little bit deeper and maybe talk about, what were you doing before real estate and like how you got started.
Yeah. First, thank Enzo Media for having us. We're down here downtown, and actually, ironically enough, one of the other things I was doing was downtown when I first got into real estate. I was a nightclub promoter, had a nightclub promotion business, and basically was throwing parties downtown at the local nightclubs back in my early 20s. So when I first got licensed, I was actually working 4 jobs. I was in medical sales full-time with a company called ConMed based out of Utica, New York. I was covering all of Virginia and West Virginia, selling real estate part-time, bartending 5 nights a week at P.F. Chang's, and then throwing a party or two here and there. So it was a crazy first year and a half, 2 years of being licensed, juggling 4 jobs.
Yeah, I feel like I've talked to at least, and that's my personal experience also being a ex-server bartender. I feel like it's a good transition maybe.
Yeah, I've pulled quite a few out of the restaurant gig and getting their license. It was something, it was cash and, it was great networking. So I spent many years doing multiple jobs and kind of like I'm doing now. I'm not just a real estate agent. We'll dive into that a little bit later.
Yeah. Service industry has a lot to offer for sure. A lot of connections, a lot of fun. I liked the social aspect of it, and some of the respect from the client base that you would earn if you were good at what you did. So I do think it transitions over to kind of what we're doing now. So you were doing all those things. You got off the ground running with your real estate. Were you solo agent? Were you on a team? How was it working for you at the time?
Yeah, I was a solo agent. My mom, who's obviously, my mom, Sandy, she had a small real estate independent brokerage when I first got licensed. But when I first got licensed, I wanted to go with a bigger company, training, support. And my cousin was actually friends with a few of the owners at Hometown Realty and introduced me to that. That's actually how I got into real estate with Hometown. That was the connection there. Was there for 14 years, managed the last 9 I was there, managed 2 offices, Prince George and Chesterfield. And things were great. Those guys are got a great company over there. But one thing led to another, and the agent-owned cloud-based brokerage, came into the market. And after about 14 years, I left and went to EXP. Had a good run there. We built EXP locally in Richmond to number 2 in market share in just the 4+ years that I was there. And here we are.
Yeah. So a lot of people get into real estate. They do really well for themselves and producing, selling, all the things. But it seemed like you had kind of a bigger plan, maybe a bigger picture, maybe not necessarily saying you don't like to sell or don't want to sell, but maybe you just, you took it and turned it into a real business.
Yeah.
So So was that always the plan for you? Did you?
Yeah, it was, I spent so many years essentially, great company, but I was building something for someone else. I was building, market share. I was attracting agents, recruiting agents to an independent brokerage. What I saw business wise was, do I go independent? Do I open my own independent? But EXP and Real gave me the opportunity to build a business within a business. And one thing that I'm super passionate about, always have been in recruiting, training, coaching agents, is whether it's a new agent, new to the business, getting them up and running, or maybe it's an agent that's doing 10 deals and wants to get to 20. Maybe it's an agent that's doing 20 and wants to get to 30 deals a year. So I have a huge passion for helping agents. And so that was my decision. Do I go independent, or do I take advantage of an agent-owned cloud-based brokerage with all of the perks that these independent companies just don't offer and can't offer?
Yeah, I feel like that anyone who's got the business mindset, they get to the point where that's the decision, right? Get your broker's license, do it that way. What are the options? Take it in house, do it your own way. So we'll get into it a little bit more with Real and where you're currently at, where we're currently at. Yeah. But did you have any like real estate mentors, or maybe not even real estate mentors, but athletes, business professionals, anyone like along your career that you were like following? You read their books, you were kind of following the playbook?
Was never really big on the paper books, if you will. Follow a ton of business-minded people, but there's not really, I can't really say that there's one mentor that, kind of showed me the ropes, and it was like one specific person. But as you and I both love sports, and, we got that competitive drive in us. So it's not one really in particular.
Yeah, there doesn't have to be. I think that's a great point you're making, because everyone is always like, I need to follow him, or I need to do this, stick to the playbook. And what you're kind of showing is that if you have the drive and that, that grit per se, you're going to figure the things out. When I was starting HD Bros, I didn't know what I was doing. Yeah. Still don't know a lot of things, but like if you want it bad enough, you're going to get the job done and figure it out. And that's kind of what you've proven.
Absolutely.
Cool. So yeah, we're going to get into Real a little bit now. That's the new kids on the block, coolest thing in town. From what I've seen, I've been in the real estate business industry for 13 years now with HD Bros. I'm from a real estate family. Grandma, both parents, aunts, you name it. So I've always been around, and it wasn't until this, I guess almost 2 years ago now, that you had approached me and were like, hey, have you seen this? And kind of like put this bug in my ear, and got me thinking a little bit about this. So yeah, tell everyone about Real, like what's going on with it, what's happening.
Yeah, like I said, my days in hometown, life was good, selling a bunch of houses, but I just wanted something more, wanted something bigger. I wanted to offer our agents something that they couldn't get where we were at. That's what led me to EXP. And then it was about February of 24. As you know, Clayton Getz, one of our other business partners, he calls me one day and he's like, have you seen Real? I'm like, I've heard of it, but obviously it's not in Richmond. He goes, I want you to hop on a call. And when I saw EXP, I looked at it for years. When I saw Real, I'm like, this is it. So about that same time, as you know, not to mention any names, but we had a handful of influencers in our market, top producers, team leaders. They were all coming to EXP. And so once Clayton and I looked at Real, what we didn't want to do was bring a bunch of people over to EXP and then leave 6 months later. In this industry, and I can't stress this enough, you and I can sell real estate anywhere. You can pick any of the 600 companies in town, and we can go sell real estate. But it's, what is that company giving the agent? What is that value proposition? You're given a piece of your commission. Here at Real, obviously it's a smaller piece, but all real estate agents pay the broker something. And so when we looked at this February of 24, and I told Clayton, I said, dude, this is it, but let's put it in front of all these other team leaders, brokers, that were getting ready to make the move. So I'll never forget it. It was a Thursday night. We went out to Wild Ginger, private room. We're like, guys, we got to have a little conversation. And we weren't making any decision, but we wanted to pitch the idea of launching Real in Richmond. And we literally went around the dinner table, and not one single person skipped a beat. Every single person was like, let's do it, let's launch, let's do it, let's launch. Everybody was in. That's when the decision was made that Thursday evening at Wild Ginger.
Yeah, I mean, just being around with HD Bros, I was hanging out with you guys. I got a little bit of insight to what was going on, doing the media thing, and it had caught my eye too. And then I think me and you went to Burton's Steakhouse, and you're like, have you seen this? And I like to think of myself as a business person. Yep. So again, I never knew what my future in real estate was beyond the HD Bros stuff, but I saw this and I was like, man, I think that there's something, whether it's collaboration with HD Bros, whether it's, building my own kind of thing. I thought it was super cool and intriguing. Funny story, I remember being in one of those dinners. It was at the place, it's no longer there, but by the Trader Joe's.
Yeah.
And what's that restaurant called?
You had to ask.
Is right by Trader Joe's, and we were in the restaurant. There was a bunch of people there. I'm telling this joke because I don't have it like some people think I do. And I was at the dinner, sponsoring the dinner for HD Bros. What that entails is typically we're just exchanging kind of video or shooting or doing whatever. And I was with you and Clayton. The dinner wrapped up, and Clayton came over to me and he was like, he came over to us and he was like, hey guys, how are we splitting this? And this was a steak dinner for like 20, 30 people. And I was like, shit, dude, I don't have it like that. I was like, I'm not like that. And I think you were like, no, he's doing the media or something. Yeah. But that was, I seriously I told all the HD Bros, I tell all my friends, I was like, that was very funny. I'm flattered that you think I'm up there with you guys. Maybe one day, maybe soon. But no, I love that story. I mean, it's cool for sure. Yeah,
just, when we launched, EXP was great, don't get me wrong, but we had 0 sales meetings in person in 4 years and 4 months that I was there. And so one of the biggest things that when we decided to launch Real was we wanted to create, you just mentioned it, collaboration, but a different culture. And the culture that we've built locally, like, it's not a numbers game. We don't want every single agent in town. We want good agents, obviously, but you've got to be a good culture fit with what we're doing. I mean, we're going to have 100+ agents at Salisbury Country Club tomorrow for the sales meeting. I don't know of any company in town that's doing that. And the content that we're putting out for our agents, it's just creating value, and they want to come back next month.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, being a part of the growth, I like to think I've been a part of this since you guys got it kicked off through the media aspect of it. But I watched it, and I've attended a lot of events. I've attended a lot of sales meetings. It went from 0 to 100, 200 agents I've seen at some of these events and meetings that I've been at. It's been really cool, and it happened fast. Yeah.
I mean, if you look at the top 10 in Richmond, and This is not it's not a bragging moment. I'm proud of the agents and so excited to be business partners with so many other. They were former business owners. They own their own brokerage and moved over to partner with us. And you and I and all of the other hundreds of real agents, we're all business partners. The way this business model is set up, we are business partners.
Yeah, I've taken that terminology myself, and I use that often with some of my friends and business partners now. I definitely use that, and I feel that for sure. I think everyone knows the EXP and the real model now, and I think what kind of establishes it and makes it real per se is that you said we're not going to brag, but we are hitting numbers and people are selling. So I think that would have been a point to where looking from the outside, you could have been like, yeah, but they're just recruiting a bunch of agents, or they're trying to grow their stock, or they're trying to do this. But that's not the case. That is the case, but we're producing. I mean, it's grown and it's producing. People are selling. People are doing their jobs as agents, which is always going to be a thing for me. Again, coming from not being a realtor, I'm like, well, what's the main job of a real estate agent?
Sure.
It needs to be to sell, and
And
we are doing a good job of that.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing. You know, our competition, of course, is going to say, "Oh, they're a recruiting company, and you got to go over there and you recruit." First of all, we're not recruiting; we're attracting. We're attracting top agents. We're attracting agents out of real estate school. To be honest, I probably spent more time in my week recruiting when I was at Hometown. This business model, when you see it, you can't unsee it. And it's just been amazing how quick we've gone from 0 to number 2 in market share in a year and a half. Number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6. You go all the way down to 20. Some of these companies have been in business for 20, 30, 40 years. To do what we did in a year and a half, I didn't do it myself. We collectively, hundreds of us did it, including you. So it's just a testament to the growth of the company, to what the company offers that you can't get at another company. So again, we're a real estate company. We're a tech company. We're now partnered with a bank. So it's a lot more, but most importantly, we're here to sell real estate and change people's lives.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you hit the nail on the head. It's not recruiting if you can see that, it's good. And the attraction part, it kind of does itself. I mean, you're just presenting that, to maybe somebody who doesn't know an option or the options out there. Super cool technology. Anyone who's tech savvy and into like the app stuff, it's cool. It's cool. It's hip. I always say, if your kid's going to play college sports or something, it's not the most important thing, but they're probably looking at the uniforms too. And that's what I thought was real. Again, producing for sure, but when you look good, you play good, and it all flows from there. So yeah, with the collaboration thing, we're doing a lot of events. We'll get off the real stuff now. We're doing a lot of events. We do a lot of networking. You've kind of taken charge with all of that stuff within Real. But for those of you who don't know, me and Matt also have a little networking organization that we do around town. I think it's been awesome for generating business in a non-threatening, fun way.
Sure.
It's the RVA Golf League.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. What a kind of a great idea. And it's not just real estate agents, obviously business professionals, some that do business within real estate, some that are just completely off the grid and they just want to come out for 9 holes after work and network. But yeah, I mean, we've gotten good traction. I think we're going to try to schedule the next one in the next 2 weeks, and just hopping around at different courses. And it gives people that aren't members of country clubs to play at country clubs. People that are members of one course, they get to play at another. It's just been really good networking. I mean, they got the guys, and the guys just really enjoyed it. I mean, just getting out there.
Yeah, on the website, there's one of the taglines is I've never exchanged so many business cards, and
Yeah,
that might be the case for someone, but I think beyond that, it's just you play golf with somebody, you're gonna learn a lot about them. You're gonna decide if you like them or not, and you're gonna decide if you want to do business with them or not. And you don't even have to talk about what you're doing in a hard sell to get that. By the end of even 9 holes, it's just a 9 hole league. Afternoons, we know everyone's got jobs, kind of.
yeah,
So, you're going to learn who you want to do business with,
yeah.
and it's a lot of fun for sure.
And I mean, most people know that there is a lot of business that happens on the golf course. It's all about networking. And I jokingly have told my son Blake, who's the golfer in the family. I don't pretend to be the stud golfer, but I do enjoy and have really gotten out a lot more this year. But there's a lot of business exchanged on the golf course, and I can't tell you how many deals I've lost by not being out there networking on the golf course.
Oh, for sure. And to your point, I think that if you had to be good to get out and golf and network, then there probably wouldn't be many people participating in this event, but
Yeah,
a lot of events. So it's not about how good we are. It's about having fun. Sometimes we can get competitive on scale, but it's a good time. And like you said, we'll keep everyone in the loop and update on the future events. But if you haven't checked that out, if you're into golf, if you just want to meet other business professionals, I think you already said it, Matt, but it's started with real estate, but it is a mix. There's all sorts of vendors. If you want to do business and just make good connections, it's a great time.
yeah, yeah. Um, Maybe dive in a little bit to the other group, your real estate fit page.
Yeah. Okay. I wasn't prepped for that one, but I guess you don't really have to be. There are, you know, there's a lot of great realtors. There's a lot of great business professionals around RVA and Nova, DMV, everywhere. I think that one of the things that I've always noticed and kind of correlated is that a lot of top performers take care of themselves physically, mentally, and then the ones who aren't, maybe they're going to be suffering at a certain point in their life, whether just being fatigued, not being able to stay organized with their schedule, work, all of that. So, yep, we got another group, real estate fit group. Kind of just a social media page, but we're up to, I think, over 500 members now. It's been really motivational and good for the group. It's like we're talking about how the golf isn't competitive. This isn't a competitive thing either. It's for all aspects of people who are trying to better themselves. We're posting in this group, and you got people taking walks and strolls. You got people putting up crazy bench presses, and then you got people finding themselves somewhere in the middle. So it's I always say it's you versus you with fitness and health, but I do believe it's our responsibility to take care of ourselves and to better ourselves. And this kind of little team effort at the motivation has been really good. So
Yeah. I think when you look at that real estate fit, you look at RVA golfing, you look at real as a whole, it's a combination of low producers, top producers, not fit, terrible golfers, scratch golfers. So there's a place for everyone. And for me, like I get so busy, especially like in the afternoons. Nobody's wanting to look at houses usually at 8 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning. So for me personally, just with my crazy day in the afternoons and into the sometimes early evening, if I don't work out in the mornings, usually it just doesn't happen. So this morning workout, sauna session, and here we are. I mean, I just if it didn't happen this morning, it wouldn't happen tonight.
Did you get the cold plunge yet?
Did not.
Okay.
But ever since we mentioned that, of course, your iPhone is now feeding you and feeding you and feeding you. It is. That's just another crazy story in itself about them listening to us.
The
We'll probably get sent studio
podcast setup. For sure.
setups after we launched this.
Well, that's why we're taking advantage of utilizing our friends again, Sam with Enzo Media for this.
Appreciate you, brother.
But the cold plunge, I've done it a couple times. Haven't really. I don't have my own yet.
Yeah.
Clayton, I know he's a big cold plunge guy. I don't know how recent that's been, but we've been talking about.
I do want to try it. I've never tried it in my life, but.
Well, maybe we'll get one on the podcast and you do the episode in the cold plunge. Probably be a short episode.
Yeah.
But, like you said, you work out in the morning because you're busy in the afternoon, but also because you're prioritizing something that's important. So for realtors, I also would recommend get a workout in the morning, or maybe it's your lunch break because the only thing more important than your health, I guess, for realtors is lead generation, which that should be done in the morning is what I'm learning. So cool. I think that's pretty good for a starter episode. I mean, I wanted to see what we could get out of this. I think for future episodes, we can interview multiple guests, other single guests. Me and you can alternate maybe. We've got a pretty large network again between the HD Bros, between your network of realtors and just people we know from Nova, DMV, DC area, Virginia Beach, even North Carolina. So I'm hoping that we'll be able to do this with some interesting agents, some people who've got some good information to give, and just some good people. So
yeah, and we can certainly go down to the beat. You know, we've got a ton of awesome agents that are just crushing the market down on the beach, and so looking to bring on other business owners. You know, just a combination of not just real. And speaking of which, we've got a big event. It is obviously hosted by Real, but it's not a recruiting event. We're just trying to provide value. A lot of AI, lead generation. We've got 5 guest speakers coming in a week from tomorrow, August 12th. It's from 1 to 5, happy hour from 5 to 7. President of Real, Tamir's coming in from Israel. We've got some executives from Real that are going to be in attendance. And just some really just badass speakers that are just going to pour back into the agents, giving you what, and that's the one thing that I always stress to agents is we call it getting in the room. You want to get in the room with agents that are doing something that you're not. Get in the room with agents that are doing more than you. And, you know, when I started going to EXP events, you know, wherever it was across the country, or even outside of the country, I love nothing more than just being in the room with agents. You know, I sell a lot of houses, but there's a lot of people out there that are doing way more than I am. They're doing different stuff than I am. So it's always good to be in the room with those people. And even if you just take a little bit of what they're doing and pour it back into your agents, into your business. You know, this business is all about growth. And, you know, every single year I want to sell more, you know, help more agents, obviously make more money. But this game's all about growth.
Yeah, I think that is like the saying, you know, you are the average of like the top 5 friends that you hang out with.
Yeah,
and
it's true.
It is true. And again, you kind of got me in the room, starting with the HD Bros stuff early on. But I saw these events and I saw the people who were where I wanted to be. And I was like, man, I got to get there and just keep showing up and doing that. To chime in on the big event on the 12th.
Yep.
We also have a local speaker who's going to be on one of the panels, I believe. RVA Hot List, Camille Robinson.
Yeah.
She is a newer agent to Real, newer realtor in general. But for those who don't follow RVA Hot List on Instagram, her stuff pops off. She's done, I believe, 32 deals in 2 years, and 100% of her business has come from Instagram. 100% of her business, all social media. So she's got a cool story to tell. She'll probably be telling it there. I know she's kind of trying to do some more speaking and talking about that. She's a really awesome person.
She is.
And
I've enjoyed getting to know her in the short time that I have, and her content is. And the thing that I love about her also is she just wants to pour into the community and help other agents. So I'm excited to have her at the sales meeting tomorrow, and then also she will be on the panel. If you are interested, if you're an agent outside of Real, there is a small cost associated with coming to our event on the 12th. If you are interested, I will personally make sure you get in the room. If you just drop me a private message on Facebook or Instagram, or you can reach me at 804-301-6288. Reach out to Chris with your contact info as well.
Yeah, and I mean, we're probably just going to be putting this video up. This is obviously the pilot episode, intro episode kind of thing, but definitely give us the feedback. Tell us in the comments, wherever you see this, what you'd like to see, if you'd be interested in being on with us. Again, we're just trying to bring value. I think that hearing realtors, especially their backstory and kind of, where they started and where they're going with their business is an awesome and interesting thing for sure. So
yeah, and I'm excited to continue this growth, this kind of rocket ship that we're on with agents, especially locally. But if you know an agent within the United States or 4 provinces in Canada, we'd love an opportunity to chat with them. Because we just want to continue to pour into these agents to give them something that they don't have where they're at. I didn't go independent because I knew about the expenses and the legal stuff and the risk, and it's just a lot of money to keep an independent brokerage with the brick and mortar. And I had high expectations of Real, and it's far exceeded. So I'm looking forward to continuing to grow with you.
Awesome. Well, this is the Real As It Gets podcast is what we're going to call it. And we'll see you on the next one.
Yeah, appreciate you guys. And obviously this is our first episode, and it's just like golf. We keep getting better. We're not great, but we're going to just keep getting better. Thanks again.